Welcome to Ada Continues episode 292. Live on the internet right now, episode 292. This is Ada Continues. We're a podcast on video games or related topics. Posts up every Monday on adacontinues.com as an MP3 and goes up a little bit before that on youtube.com/adacontinues as a video. And y'all know who it is. But for those of you who don't know who it is, I'm Staffa, the host. And with me today is Adam.
What's going on?
Just a podcast. That's what's going on.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nope.
No idea.
I had no idea.
All right. So this week's episodes will include news. We're gonna just talk about some news this week, and that's it. We're gonna try to keep it brief. So, anyways, before we get going and start talking about news, I just want to do a quick disclaimer that all opinions expressed on the show are of our own and not of our employees, whether past, present, or future. Hashtag don't fire Staffa.
Don't fire stop.
Nope. All right, so let's get going and start talking about some news. So I should have probably tested this before we start recording, but last week when I was doing screen share, everything went wrong. So hopefully things don't go wrong this time if I screen share. Let's get that going. All right, are you able to hear me, Adam?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So things are not going wrong this time doing screen share. Perfect. All right. So first article I have on here is about Battleborn, that prestigious AAA title by Gearbox Studios, Randy Pitchford. Battleborn, the game that stomped Overwatch into the ground, into a mud hole. Oh, wait, it was the other way around, right?
I think you got that backward, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, Battleborn basically got stomped by Overwatch before Overwatch even came out. It was insanity. Like it had like a good month head start on Overwatch, but people were like, nah, we'll wait for Overwatch. And so it's been out for like a year and a half at this point. And Gearbox has come out and said that they are no longer working on updates for Battleborn, but the servers are still up. So the quote we have right here from Randy Vernal. Okay, guess it's not Randy Pitchford, but creative director Randy Vernal. He said, as of this week, there will be no more Battleborn, no more battle plans, and there is currently no planned content after the fall update. And though the updates are ending, he says that Battleborn is here to stay. The game servers are staying online for the foreseeable future. And yeah. So I mean, basically, they're just gonna like let it ride as long as it can before the ship sinks, and that's what it sounds like, because they're like, okay, we're gonna move all our resources to Borderlands 3 and no longer work on updating this game any longer. So they're obviously giving up, And I mean, it was a few weeks ago that I mentioned that Brink, a game that came out, I don't know, about 7 years ago, has more people online than both Battleborn and um, what's Cliff Bleszinski's game? Lawbreakers. Yeah, both those combined. So it's a rough time to be a multiplayer shooter.
I guess.
I remember, Adam, did you have a chance to play like the the beta of this?
No,
Okay,
I didn't play that.
okay, because I remember I couldn't remember who all played the beta of it, and the like the campaign portion reminded me a lot of uh Borderlands, except less loot and more like leveling up your character and getting abilities. So I don't know. That might have been something that you would have liked, but
Yeah, no, I didn't ever play it, so I don't really have
okay,
an opinion on this other than Borderlands 3. Yo,
yeah. All right, let's move on. So Tokyo Game Show was this past week, and there was a few announcements this past week. I don't know, I was trying to watch uh, the press conference for Sony, but like even though it was the English version, like a lot of it's Japanese, like the trailers are all Japanese.
right?
Uh and I was like, why am I watching this? It was all like really uh the games were focused on Japanese market, like Monster Hunter.
Right.
So I mean, I've never really played a Monster Hunter, so I don't really have any uh opinion on that. But the one game that was announced, which I think this is kind of funny, Zone of the Enders 2 VR is announced for PS4 and PC, which includes 4K support. So basically, it's like a remastered version of Zone of the Enders 2, not including Zone of the Enders 1. So, like, if you haven't played the first game, you're gonna be lost because it's a Kojima game, which is very uh focused on storyline.
I mean,
And
he's played a lot of the Metal Gear Solid games. He's
yeah,
played a lot of them, and they're still lost. So
exactly. So
playing the first one really matters.
yeah, um I just find it funny that they'll like do a remaster of the second but not the first one.
Right.
um and they're like, oh, you can play the game in a new perspective, which is inside the mech, because the game is like it's from third person view. But you can do like inside the mech because it's VR.
Mm,
And uh I don't know, it's just I've the thing I find most funny about this is Konami trying to continue making off of Kojima's previous work.
right.
It's like Konami doesn't want to make new games, but they don't mind milking as much money out of Kojima's previous work as possible.
Mm. I've never played either one of them, but yeah, I mean, why not? That's business.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've played a little bit of the first one. When I played it, it felt very dated at the time because it's like a third person. I don't know. It's not really a third person shooter or a third person action game. It just felt very dated.
Mm,
Um, the controls didn't feel very refined. It's a very early PS2 game. Um, and so like control wise, it didn't feel very good, and so I never finished the first one. So I wouldn't be really interested in playing the second one without having the context of the first game.
Right.
So, that's my uh main outlook on this is the fact that they're releasing the second game without having the first game included. All right, moving on.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about Valve here and their Steam reviews. They're changing it up a little bit. So I think it was last week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last week that I mentioned PewDiePie. Uh, did you listen to last week's episode,
I
Adam?
haven't been to really any podcasts for a
Okay,
while.
so to um summarize what happened last week, PewDiePie, who everyone knows as the number one YouTuber,
Right.
he was streaming some gameplay of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and he dropped the N bomb, and it was, yeah, like he was calling another player the N bomb with a hard R, not with a soft A, like hard racist R. Um, and like PewDiePie fans are like defending him, saying, "Oh, it was a heated moment," blah blah
Right.
blah. That's inexcusable.
Yeah.
Um, so like one of the co-founders of Campo Santo, the developer of Firewatch,
Mm-hmm.
said that he's gonna uh issue DMCA takedown notices on all the Firewatch videos that PewDiePie has, because he's tired of this guy making millions of dollars off of
Other
uh
people's work.
other people's work, and all this guy does is basically scream and
Act a
he's
fool.
act a fool, exactly. And you know so and the co-founder, he basically said that he has nothing against streamers. He's issued out thousands of keys to streamers,
Right.
and he is not denying the fact that he has also made money off of PewDiePie, because people have seen PewDiePie's videos and are like, "Oh, I'm going to check out this game." So he's not going to deny that, but he's just tired of him at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's even a soft A is still bad.
Yeah,
A hard R is that's no.
hard, racist, pirate. R.
If his fanboys can't understand, it's 2017, almost 2018, and you're gonna defend somebody. Oh, it was a heated moment. Let it go. No,
Yeah,
no. You go away to it. You go.
yeah, it's
You
inexcusable.
go.
Yeah, your support for somebody should not blind you
It's
from racism.
legitimatness.
Yeah, inexcusable.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And go co-founder or whatever he was of Firewatch. You have Adam's support.
Yeah. So after that, Firewatch experienced some review bombing on their Steam page. So basically, what happened is a lot of the PewDiePie supporters, they went to the review page, the store page for Firewatch, and left a negative review of the game. So the review had nothing to do with
The game
the game
itself.
itself. Yes, and
Yeah. I
some of
mean,
them might have even had a positive review previously, but then they changed it to a negative review. So what Steam decided to do to change their system up is they're having like a timeline um, of reviews. so that you
Right.
can see like when like the timeline has like basically a bar um for each time period of
Yeah.
negative and positive, and you could click on the section and see uh the views for a specific timeline, and that way you can see why or when the reviews started to change direction. And Valve basically said that um review bombing is a problem that they don't want plaguing their store. Uh, reviews should not reflect the fact that somebody doesn't like what a developer said, or their political stance, or
Right. It's for the
like
game
some.
itself, not somebody's viewpoint.
Yeah. So like it says, quote, many of these out of game issues aren't very relevant when it comes to the value of the game itself, but some of them are real reasons why a player may be unhappy with their purchase. So but it's still, it has nothing to do with the game itself. So that's why they wanted to change it up and basically remedy the whole review bombing.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again. People online are some of them, not all of them. They're petty and dumb, plain and simple.
Yeah, and like especially a lot of these supporters who are defending PewDiePie are little kids, like 12-year-olds on down,
Yeah.
because that's basically PewDiePie's target audience right there.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like
It's,
some people will say, "Oh, PewDiePie's audience is actually older than that," because of YouTube analytics. But the thing with YouTube analytics is that they don't show many people below 13, because a lot of kids will put that they're older than 13 or older than 18,
right.
because they don't want the videos to be um
Censored. Well,
yes, yeah.
yeah.
So if you like basically like the as far as YouTube analytics, um the range that's like 18 through 20 something whatever, like that also includes um kids that are like 12 and 13 or whatever.
Right.
um but
Yeah.
yeah, you about to say something?
It's stupid because all these pettiness, this pettiness is going to change the score, and then okay, yeah, it has the graph, but still, if somebody looks at the graph and they're like, oh man, what happened? This game had really good reviews, because I know Firewatch was what, last year's when it came out, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I want to say on Giant Bomb, everybody had it in at least their top 10,
Hmm.
and oh, in September, oh man, what happened to this game? A lot of people won't look and see why it got such bad reviews.
Hmm.
So all this stupidness from this one idiot racist fans is gonna take money out of the developer's pocket because they want to support a racist piece of crap.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and like that's the thing with kids, like they don't look at like the bigger picture.
Right.
They see that they like this guy, so they blind themselves as to the bigger picture, which is the racism, which is unacceptable. You can't use that type of language. uh it's anyone with the mentality of, oh, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's just words. It's you shouldn't give it that much um
That much
importance
power.
or what, yeah, and you shouldn't give it that power. Like you're encouraging, if you do use that type of language, you're encouraging racism.
Yeah.
You're encouraging the mentality of racism. You know, it's a word that is specifically to
Hurt.
de- degrade black people,
Yeah.
like, you know, putting them below other people. You can't use that type of language. It's as the the fact that you're even saying it, you know, you shouldn't be like, oh, don't give it that power. No, no, don't use that type of mentality.
Yeah. It's
So to
not
read
acceptable.
what, yeah, to read what Valve says, they said starting today, each game page now contains a histogram of positive to negative ratio of reviews over the entire lifespan of the game, and by clicking on any part of the histogram, you're able to read a sample of the reviews for that time period. As a potential purchaser, it's easy to spot temporary distortions in the reviews, to investigate why the distortion occurred and decide for yourself whether it's something you care about. This approach has the advantage of never preventing anyone from submitting a review, but does require slightly more effort on the part of the potential purchaser.
Like seeing this, I don't ever leave reviews on Steam. I have Firewatch. I might go on Firewatch and just leave a review. Never played the game, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's take a quick look of how that looks like. Uh, let's look at the store page for Firewatch. Mixed reviews as of recent. All right, so we're going down to the reviews on here, and as you can see, there's a histogram right here, and uh, looks like there's a little bit of negative reviews on release,
Right.
but a ton of positive reviews.
Yeah, well,
And
500
then,
or 5,543 positive and 1,000 some odd negative.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then and then as of the entire lifespan, there's like basically no negative reviews, just a few here and there. And then until recently, that's when the negative reviews started dropping. So is there a way to like move this around? No.
Probably zoom in that way. I don't know.
High volume of negative reviews detected September 11th through September 16th. Oh, that's disgusting. People being racists starting on September 11th. Oh, the irony. In the past 30 days. A pretty repetitive walking simulator. Good job, buddy.
Right.
6 out of 10 would not buy. Only strong point is voice acting. Firewatch is not a bad game, not by any means. Its art direction is gorgeous. Okay, so tell me why you're giving a negative view. But
Right.
above all else, this is a story game. There's no gameplay traditional, which, you know. So these guys are like trying to like disguise their
Yeah.
racist
I'll
support
play
with.
one that you're on right now.
Personally, I didn't enjoy as much as some people did, and definitively, at least my opinion, wasn't worth the 20 quid. Also, I've said the N word quite loads of times, so as the devs want, I'll try to avoid the future Campo Santos games.
Okay.
Um,
Good for you. And the
yeah,
next one, DMCA. That's it. No, I mean, at least the guy that said DMCA, at least he is stupid in his support. He admits it. He admits.
yeah, I'm gonna click not helpful for these fools. There we go. Boom.
You know what I mean? Isn't it? Just people.
Yeah. All right. But no, do you have anything else you want to add on this before we
No,
move on?
it's stupid.
Yeah. It's
The
it's
best way to put it. It's ridiculous that people
it's
still feel that way and feel they need to support, somebody that goes and talks like that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not about, you gotta grow a backbone, you know. It's you shouldn't be using racist mentalities and racist language. It's
I'll
like
say this:
get
people that
get
talk like that and feel like they didn't do anything wrong, it's just a word. Don't give it the power. They've never had, more than likely, never had someone pick on them with words or say anything to them or be discriminated against.
yeah.
So they have no idea. So they need to just shut their mouth.
Yeah, get out of the like 1840s or
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
I'm getting
Let's
heated. Let's move on.
let's move on. Let's talk about some good news. Good friend of the show, Phil Spencer, because I tweeted at him, so obviously we're BFFs.
Oh, BFFs. There you go.
BFFs. Phil Spencer joins Microsoft's senior leadership team. So he got promoted recently. Phil Spencer, who is the president of the Xbox division,
Hmm.
he is now currently um, well, who is currently executive vice president of gaming for Microsoft, is joining Microsoft's senior leadership team, which would make him the 16th member of the team. So this like gives him a seat at the table with the other executives. Um, and this is really good news for the Xbox brand, considering that recently Microsoft was considering like selling off their game, or leaving their gaming division and focusing more on uh their other um
Yeah,
divisions. So this is really good news for their gaming division. And um I feel like this is because Phil Spencer,
basically turned it around.
yeah, he turned it around. Like who was it, Don Matrick before him?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, like coming out on E3 talking about how there'll be no discs, it'll be online all the time. It's gonna be a multimedia machine. Like he said all the wrong things.
Right.
And then after he left and Phil Spencer took over, like I remember like that first E3 with him, there was no word at all about multimedia, and it was just games, 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 games. And that's
Yeah.
how their E3 press conferences have been since then. And every time Phil Spencer opens his mouth and talks about either like Xbox or the competition or like anything gaming, it's always
Positive.
something, yeah, very positive and, you know, pro gamer, pro consumer, just very positive stuff. Like he'll say really positive things about Nintendo, really positive things about Sony. That he loves video games.
Yeah.
He makes it very obvious that he's into games. He knows what he's talking about. He's not just spouting like random, like
Crap.
selling point keywords.
Right.
And yeah, so congratulations, Phil Spencer, good friend of the show. Out of Close friend of the show.
Close personal, longtime friend of the show.
Long time friend. We were friends with Phil Spencer before before he was Phil Spencer.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to add?
No, just it's good because, like you said, everything that he's done since he took over, it's all been positive, all been good for the gaming community that can sometimes not deserve
Yeah.
good.
All right. Oh, and like one thing that I really have a lot of respect for Phil Spencer is that he puts the gamers before business. Like he has been the one that's been coming out saying that uh we need cross-platform play, and he's been pushing for games being on both the Xbox and PC.
Yeah,
Like the
play anywhere.
yeah, the Play Anywhere games, and also like he's been working with both Nintendo and Sony, as far as like getting Minecraft on those platforms,
Right.
um, and trying to work with Sony as far as like getting that cross-platform play, which that'll probably be another long while. Maybe
Yeah,
probably will not be this generation of consoles.
probably not.
Uh, but yeah, I do like the fact that he he has been pushing more towards things that are best for gamers and not best for like exclusivity.
Right.
Video games should be inclusive, not exclusive. But yeah, let's move on. So next thing I have here is Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus dropped a new trailer. Did you get a chance to watch it?
No, I did not.
The trailer, yeah, had a lot of story elements to it. Um, it did have a lot of shooting, which all of it looked really awesome.
Okay.
But there was a lot of story, which wasn't in the other stuff that they haven't shown in the other trailers. And I'm very hyped for this. This game coming out next month, and they're talking about no more Nazis. A few months ago, I talked about how I was hyped for Far Cry 3 because I'm ready to shoot some crazy hillbilly rednecks.
Far Cry
Now,
3?
yeah, Far Cry
3.
3 or 4, 5.
There you go. Numbers.
Yes,
You
6.
can't math.
Far Cry 5, I'm ready for that. But like within the span of a few months, like Nazis have started popping out of the woodworks.
Right?
Though most of those people are the same people.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So now I'm no longer ready to shoot hillbillies. I'm ready to start shooting some some Nazis in the
Nazis.
face. Some Nazis. Just ready to shoot some Nazis in the face. So I'm pretty hyped for this game. I mean, it's only coming out next month, so should be soon.
Yeah, I
And
never played the expansion or standalone, whatever it was, for the first remake, whatever,
uh-huh,
Wolfenstein.
New Order, yeah,
Yeah, that one. I never played it, but I mean, the game itself is pretty awesome.
yeah. I really liked the New Order. I didn't care for the Old Blood,
There
which
you
is
go.
the expansion.
Yeah,
Um, I played, I think, like maybe I know I got more than halfway through. So I'd say maybe 60, 70% through the game. And I just didn't care for it because it focused more on just it was just more of the shooting and um less of the story.
Bet you never thought you'd say that about Wolfenstein, that you wanted more story.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
you're shooting Nazis.
And on top of that, it wasn't anything. It didn't do anything new either. Like
Yeah.
it was just more of the same. Also, I can't remember, but I think it was you're using like the older guns as well. Like it wasn't like the future part where you have like all these really cool high tech guns.
Right.
And yeah, because of that, I didn't really care for the old blood.
Mm.
Though I'm excited for this, seeing this trailer, and though there is a part of the trailer that is kind of has some adult content in it. I don't know how they fit that into the trailer. Um, let's just say the crew walks into a part of their base where two people are having an intimate moment.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty funny the way you should watch the trailer, like the way
I'll watch
how
it when we get off here.
yeah, yeah, it's actually pretty funny, but it's like whoa, that's a bit
Risque.
some yeah, risque for a trailer. But yeah, anything you want to add? Are you hyped for this game?
I wouldn't quite say hype because I have no time to play really anything really anymore.
Hmm.
But I'm looking forward to getting around to it eventually.
One of these years,
What are the years?
when the Nazis are finally gone,
Yeah, when the Nazis are finally gone.
when Nazis are a fictional
Yeah.
uh fictional thing.
Well,
Uh, all right. You know what? One thing that isn't fictional, and why are you face palming? I didn't even finish what I'm saying.
I already know where
Well,
you're going now.
one thing that's not fictional and I don't want gone because it's amazing.
What's that, Stoppa?
JHost, the
Oh, tell
award-winning
me more.
web and WordPress hosting that offers over 1.5 that hosts over 1.5 million websites, blogs, and apps. That's nuts, right? Ho
That's
ho,
just darn
DreamHost is
right
turning
insane.
20. So yeah, they have a 20th anniversary sale. Um what is this? What's their sale? Okay, so they have like a bunch of uh domains extensions that they have on sale, but DreamHost, they're a web service that offers unlimited bandwidth, unlimited storage space, unlimited user-friendly experience, no racism. All that just for 7.95 US dollars a month, and it gets better than that. If you use the promo code out of continues, that's one word, no spaces, out of continues, it'll waive away the setup fee, get you a free domain registration for the first year. So you can have your uh your .com or your .online or .fun.
Oh,
Yeah, .fun. How fun is that?
that's fun. That's
That is
cool.
definitely fun. But yeah, check it out. DreamHost. You can make your website, get your portfolio going. All right, let's move on. Let's talk some more um, Tokyo Game Show. So, Left Alive by Square Enix is a new shooter that got announced. They put out a teaser trailer, and then shortly after that, they put out like an actual like gameplay trailer. Um, the only notable name that I know of that's working on this is Yoji. I don't know his last name, but he's the guy who worked on he did the artwork for Metal Gear, as you can see from this image, Left Alive.
Yeah, I was gonna
Looks,
say that's definitely Metal Gearish.
yeah, coming 2018. Looks like it says um yeah, Yoji
Don't
Shinkawa.
even try. Just say that guy.
Yeah. Also Shinji Hashimoto worked on Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts franchise, is producing Left Alive with
Try it.
other guy who is director of the Armored Core series, and another guy who is the mech designer on Ghost in the Shell Arise, uh, as well as Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Why are you shaking your head no?
Pretty silly.
Hey, if I can't read their names, I'm not gonna like try to butcher it. Either way, so yeah, from watching the trailer, it looks like it's well, it takes place in the future, um, and there is war. War has changed, or war has
War
never
never changes.
changed. It's both. War has changed and it never changes. And uh, on top of that, they're riding these mech type vehicles that can possibly be made out of metal with gears inside of them. And there's drones, possibly nanomachines. But no, it's not Metal Gear.
It just looks
Uh
cool.
it just looks, yeah, looks like um and just showing during the gameplay portion of the trailer, it just looks like a third person shooter. And normally, um third person shooters haven't been the ones that have been coming out of Japan haven't been playing too well. I mean, there's been a few exceptions like Vanquish, but in general, I think third person shooters from Japan aren't very good. So I'm not sure about like the gameplay, you know, because the fact that traditionally uh, they're not very good coming out of Japan. The things that we do know about this is that it's going to be mainly offline, but there could be an online elements. So uh, mainly single player.
Yeah.
No multiplayer mode unless they have some sort of online elements. There are Wanzer riding scenes and stealth. I don't even know what a Wanzer is. Probably the mechs. I'm assuming the game
Probably.
the game takes place in Russia 2127, and development of the game is 50% finished.
Hmm.
So they've been working on this for a while. Um, yeah, I look forward to seeing more of this. I'm not saying that this is a game that I am like definitely on board
You're
with.
not hyped for it, but you're looking forward to more information and looking and seeing what it becomes.
Exactly. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, you're more of a future game guy than I am.
I love the future. I am optimistic for the future.
I don't
Optimistic
really,
that there will be no Nazis.
I don't really care for mech style games, so we'll see. That's
Let's go from the future to the past.
yeah,
Let's talk about the past, the good parts of the past.
the good parts.
Specifically the SNES parts of the past. So we got like all the information released on the SNES Classic. Release date is September 29th, so this coming Friday for $80. Are you ready?
No, not really. Because
Not really.
if I want to play SNES, I can just go get my SNES out and play it. Just saying.
Yeah. I I've been going back and forth on this, and I think now I'm back on board. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to uh attempt to buy this game and then not get it because it's sold out.
Because it's Nintendo, right?
Yep.
Because they always make a few less than they need to sell. It's like with everything else.
Yeah, my coworker says that we're both going to have one this Friday.
Yeah.
He's optimistic. I'm not, but we'll see. By next podcast recording, we'll see. You have anything you want to add?
No, I think it's neat for people that don't have a SNES, in storage or whatever. But for me, I have one, so I don't need it.
All right. Let's talk about video game movies. The Tomb rating. So we got the first trailer. Did you have a chance to take a look at this trailer?
No, I did not.
So the trailer, which includes actress Alicia Vikander, who is like a Emmy award winning, I think. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between any of these awards. I think it's an Emmy award winning. But anyway, she's an award winning actress for Ex Machina, and she's playing Lara Croft. And I watched the trailer, and it basically looks like they're going beat by beat with that reboot game from 2013. Because I'm watching a trailer, and I'm like, oh, I remember that part. I remember that part. I remember that part. Oh, is she gonna like get impaled and keep going?
Probably, because that happened a lot.
Yep. Yep. She needs at least like 15 different times where she dies.
Right.
And then like the player like has to redo the scene.
Throw it in the blooper reel. Have all her deaths, all the different deaths in the blooper reel.
Or it could be like Prince of Persia Sands of Time, where like every time there's a death, like no, that's not how it worked. That's not how it happened. I never watched the Prince of Persia movie, but did they ever do that? They should have done that. Okay. They should have done that for that movie. Like have him die a bunch of times and then they'd be like, no, that's not how it happened. But yeah, the trailer basically looks like the game. Not much else to say there. Will it be a good movie? Hopefully. You know, a lot of these video game movies end up being terrible. So my expectations are very low. But will it be game accurate? It looks like it will be. From judging from the trailer alone, it looks like it will be accurate to the game. So
Hmm.
at least I can say that. Um, I mean, this has potential, considering that they have, a really good actress. This has potential to be the best video game based movie. Considering that the best one right now is Angry Birds, the movie. That's that bar is pretty low. It's not hard to overcome that bar. Well, do you made a face when I said Angry Birds? Do you disagree with me?
I haven't seen it, so I have no opinion on any video game movie. I try to avoid them,
Like as
like
far as
plague.
movies that are based directly on video games, excluding something like Wreck-It Ralph, which isn't directly based on a video game.
Right.
Um, I think Angry Birds is the best one because I watched it and I was like, that was an all right movie. It was it was a decent animation for kids, and most other video game movies are just downright terrible.
Right.
Um, I'm pretty sure people put the first Mortal Kombat movie up there on that list. And that movie came out in the 90s and is, if you watch it today,
It doesn't hold up.
it don't hold up at all. That's why I don't put Mortal Kombat as the top. I put Angry Birds as the top right now. So Tomb Raider, can you beat Angry Birds? It's not that hard. Just just try. Don't pull a Max Payne. All right, moving on.
Yep.
Let's talk about a few non-video game things because I like to talk about those. Just a few, just three
Just a
things,
few.
just a few. The Punisher. So they dropped the trailer for the Punisher Netflix series, and it looks pretty good. I have mentioned on this podcast a few times that I feel like the Netflix Marvel series has been dipping in quality, especially like with like I feel like Daredevil was the best, and then Jessica Jones was also pretty good. Luke Cage got a little worse. It went pretty downhill with Iron Fist, and then Defenders was a little bit better than Iron Fist.
Hmm. I haven't watched any of Iron Fist or Defenders. I haven't had time to watch anything.
Uh
Anyway.
um don't even watch Iron Fist, and like I guess watch Defenders, but I don't know. Like I didn't like it. Like I I don't think it was terrible. It didn't meet my expectations.
Hmm.
It was like it felt like it was a few degrees better than Arrow, which it should not be comparable to Arrow.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. And one of the things that I complained about was the Hand is just a ridiculous bad guy. It's just so out of this world, and it's so ridiculous that even the characters on the show are like, "Oh, you're not going to believe me," because it's so ridiculous. If the characters on the show are telling other characters you're not going to believe me because of how dumb it is and they're ashamed to even mention it, then you have a stupid bad
Yeah.
guy. It's just so like mystical and out of this world and stupid. Um, and what brings me hope with the Punisher is that he's not going to be going against some stupid mystical stuff.
He just don't care. He
Yeah.
just, y'all dead.
And like the trailer, it seemed very similar to like the um the previous like Punisher movies, as far as like uh him going into his past with his family and then getting revenge for his family. Just they're basically still stuck with his origin story,
Right.
even though they visited that in um, Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
But it it looks pretty good, and this looks um, more mature rated than the stuff that they've done previously
Hmm.
because of the violence and the gore. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they have a good villain, and yeah, I really like John Bernthal,
Yeah.
aka Shane. He has done an excellent job portraying the Punisher,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm ready for him. You have any input?
No, just looking forward to it.
All right. Speaking of comic book TV shows, um, HBO has greenlit and are working on the pilot for Watchmen. And it's being produced by Lost co-creator Damon Lindelof, which Lost was pretty stupid. uh, but aside from that, like I still I don't know, like I still wonder why they're even working on this, because the movie isn't even that old. Like the movie
Right.
came out what, like not even 10 years ago?
Yeah.
When did the movie come out?
Oh.
Let's look at that Watchmen movie. It came out 2009. Yeah. So like 8 years ago.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, 8 years ago, I don't feel like that's old enough to like warrant like a retelling of the story. And I thought that they did it with that movie. Um they did a good enough job, portraying the story. Some people are still upset that they changed the ending, but I think that the ending was way better in the movie than it was in the book.
I can't remember the movie, and I never read the book.
So in the movie, the ending was that. All right, so in the book, the ending of the book, basically like, um, they get um the bad guy, who I'm not gonna mention just in case someone doesn't know. He gets together like all these artists to design like this alien like creature, and then without really explaining how they made it, they made this alien like creature, and then like made it appear in, I think it was like New York City, and then it blew up and like basically destroyed the city. And uh so then everybody thought that, oh, we're getting attacked by aliens, let's put our differences aside and um you know world peace,
Right.
because aliens are a threat. So that was the comic. And in the
Uh-huh.
movie, they changed it. Instead of having like making an alien out of whatever, like which wasn't really explained as far as I remember. Um, I don't know. Maybe one of the listeners will write in and correct me, but I don't remember if there was like any explanation on how they made the alien. But um, in the movie they changed it, so instead of like them making an alien, the bad guy just made a explosion that used the same type of energy that Dr. Manhattan is made out of, so that it
Mm-hmm.
looked like Dr. Manhattan blew up New York.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're like, "Uh-oh, Dr. Manhattan's going to kill all of us and he's a threat. Let's, put our differences aside and world peace."
Right.
So then Dr. Manhattan left Earth because he's like, this has created world peace and I shouldn't be on Earth any longer.
Hmm.
So it made more sense
Right.
than, because Dr. Manhattan is already an element of the movie, or an element of the story.
Right.
So it made more sense. I thought it was a better ending than the book. Um, but on top of that, I think Zack Snyder did a good job with making it stylistic and bringing the comic panels to life. Which, say what you will about Zack Snyder and his storytelling, one thing he does really well is bringing comic panels to life on the big screen. That's one thing he does best. Is just making a really cool looking comic book movie. Um, Now telling a cool story on his own is a different thing, but anyways, yeah. So they're green lighting this HBO series. It's due. Doesn't really say when. Yeah. It doesn't look like there's like
Anything.
a release window yet, but yeah. Um, I didn't really feel like there's a need for more Watchmen on on in live action, but I guess DC wants more Watchmen in live action.
Hmm.
So yeah, do you have any input on this?
No, not really.
All right, I think you're gonna have input on the next one though.
Probably.
This final article. DC's Joker origin movie might have a finished script soon.
Dang.
So
It
uh
might.
yeah, so I talked a few weeks ago, I think, that there's like an announcement of a Joker origin story for the DC cinematic universe, which,
What does that even mean?
yeah, I mean, like, do we need more Joker in their cinematic universe? And there's like rumors of them having, um, instead of Jared Leto, Leonardo DiCaprio, which I don't know. That sounds really weird. Like just switching out actors like that, recasting like that, and it'd be even more weird if they like act as if the whole like you know thug look of Joker never existed. With like
The
the
method
s-
look.
yeah, the meth head look with the grill and the tattoos, the smile tattoos,
Yeah.
and the what was on his forehead, like disturbed
Damage.
or damaged. Yeah. So yeah, they're already working on the origin movie for Joker, and Justin Kroll, who is who is he? A person working on it.
Hmm.
Doesn't say who. He says here, the Joker in all caps script will be turned in by next week. Super fast considering when announcement went out, bodes well for 2018 shoot. So they are cranking this out. just cranking it through the
That's
machine that makes really bad DC movies.
Oh, yeah, no.
What were your thoughts, Adam? Give
Okay,
give give us your
I have
professional analysis.
I have told you my opinion on Joker. I love the Joker, the character, the Joker, but having this as two separate movies focusing on the Joker, one a Harley Quinn and Joker film, that seems ridiculous when they're gonna just focus on them two. I don't know how that's gonna work. And then having another one that's a origin story. And what's gonna happen? Are they gonna have two different people playing the Joker in two movies? One's gonna be the Jared Leto dude, and the other's gonna be Leonardo DiCaprio. That's probably what's gonna happen because DC doesn't know how to make a universe that's connected.
Yeah. And like they're playing catch up with building their universe rather than like slowly taking their time, building characters.
Making things
Um
good.
yeah, like if you look at um the setup for like the first Marvel movies, that came out of Marvel Studios, not like just Marvel movies in general,
Right.
but the one starting with Iron Man, there was all of them were building up the character. It
Yeah.
was it was all about setting up characters. And you look at um what DC has been doing with like especially Batman versus Superman. I haven't watched Wonder Woman yet. I'm going to
One of them's
soon. Okay, but like with like Batman versus Superman, like they didn't care about any character building at all, and it was more plot building.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to like it was basically like an executive checklist
Yeah.
that they're just checking off everything. It's like, oh, um, you know, Batman wearing his armor fighting Superman, check. Just this big Doomsday, check. It's like this big checklist that they just want to like they wanted to like rush through like all of these like iconic moments from the comics
Yeah.
rather than try to like build character.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like despite Suicide Squad getting terrible reviews, like I mean the movie did really well as far as selling tickets because it was piggybacking off of like Civil War and whatever.
Right.
Actually, I think it came out before Civil War.
That still wasn't nearly as good.
Either way, it's piggybacking off of the success of like Marvel movies, which that Marvel has been bringing the standards up for comic book movies.
For quite some
Uh
time.
and despite it getting terrible reviews, they're like, "Oh, we're going to make a Harley Quinn spin-off movie as well as a Gotham Sirens movie." I think that's what it was called, Gotham Sirens, which is Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman,
Mm-hmm.
and and also a Suicide Squad 2
Yeah.
and a Joker origin movie.
Which I don't
So
really get. I don't get the whole Joker thing from the Suicide Squad because he was in it for what, like 3 scenes?
yeah, yeah, like I think it was like a max of like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He was like in there just to be in there.
Yeah. No, well, it has to do with these are Batman villains. Of course, they have to have a Joker. I mean,
Hmm.
come on.
Like yeah, it's just pretty ridiculous how like these executive decisions are made, like just based off of money.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not even taking consideration that yeah, we did make a lot of money off this, but people don't like it. Let's, go back to the drawing board and, take this as a win, the fact that we made a bad movie and,
We got
did
a
really
pile of
well,
money
but
out of it.
let's go back to the drawing board and make sure the next one's good so that we don't lose our fans.
Or they can just go the route that they're doing now, and they're gonna flood the market with crap, and people will still buy it because, oh look, it's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fan of this Harley Quinn. She looks like a hoe.
Yeah, I didn't like, she made no sense in the entire thing. Just the fact that she wore the least clothes. She did, like, what was her point to begin with? Like, Deadshot made sense
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, okay, we're sending this guy that never misses his shots. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna also send this girl that is psychotic and has a baseball bat. Why? And she's like wearing nothing. Like
Yeah.
that, it made no sense. Like, I mean, like the entire crew made no sense. Like, except for Deadshot.
Yeah.
Deadshot and what's his name? Like El Diablo.
Yeah.
Like El Diablo only had like one scene where he did stuff. Like the entire time, it's like
Right.
he's like, no, I can't, man, I can't. I killed my family. It's like, and then like he has one scene where he like flames up the entire place, and then like the ending where he like turns
Yeah.
into gods of Egypt and just turns to like just a big CG mess.
Yeah. Pretty much. You nailed it.
But it's like, other than El Diablo, like Deadshot's the only one that made sense. It's like, oh, we're gonna have this guy who ties knots.
Yeah.
Why? And then he gets killed because he tries to escape. Like,
Quickly.
yeah, and he didn't even have like any backstory either.
None.
So it was obvious he was the guy that was going to get killed.
Like I can't even remember who it was. Like what the dude's name is.
Slipknot.
Oh, there you go. That's why.
Yeah. So, like none of it made any sense. I didn't really care for Harley Quinn at all. Like, she made no sense. Like, I didn't like her look, as well as um I didn't care for her accent. Her accent was very annoying.
I can't
Uh
remember the accent. I just remember not liking her in general.
it was like this really bad like New Jersey accent.
Mm.
I don't know. Like, I know the actress is like Australian, and yeah, like it just sounded like a really bad accent, so I didn't like it. And we're getting way more of her, which I'm likely not gonna watch any of those movies.
Yay.
So yeah, I mean, back to the article about Joker. The fact that they're just cranking this out so fast, they're already gonna have a script written, and they're gonna start filming it next year. So probably 2019 release date.
Yeah.
It- this is it's just disgusting what they're doing. Um, how long has Marvel been talking about Infinity War?
No. Um. I don't know. A little while.
A long time, a long, long time. Like, well, when was the first time that they showed Thanos? I can't remember which.
Man.
It was, I think it was
It was after the credits.
Thor. No, wait, it wasn't Thor. It was well, like, and he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, but like there was, oh, it was the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't it after the credits that they showed him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
everybody was like, "Oh snap!"
So when did that come out? That came out in 2012. So 5 years ago, they showed Thanos and the Infinity War movie. I think it comes out next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like 6 years.
It's a slow build.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna do my gimmick that I always do on here just because I can. Um, it's slow burn. A lot of people a couple years back got really upset about the whole Daniel Bryan not being at WrestleMania because I'm making this about wrestling because I always do. And I mean, they were mad. I mean, Rey Mysterio was number 30 at Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan did not come out. Rey Mysterio got booed. Rey Mysterio got booed. So
Yeah.
they were mad. They were so mad. There were so many people that wrote and canceled WWE Network and all that other crap. Comes around to it, and basically they forced their hand to hurry up and push him to get him in the main event at WrestleMania and get him the title. So instead of a slow burn, people being happy with the slow burn because he was getting pushed, they just didn't like how slow it was taken. So you have a slow burn or you have a quick flash, just boom, you're instantly there. There's no reason behind it or anything.
Hmm.
That's the difference between Marvel and DC. Marvel is on that slow burn. You can fill up all this time with all these different stories setting up these characters that people will care about. Instead, DC's doing this, so we're just gonna just
Yeah. You want the audience to savor the moment.
yeah, and
You want,
anticipate it.
yeah, anticipate it, and like yeah, they're gonna be happy with the conclusion once they've gone through this entire journey.
Yeah,
If the conclusion's good,
right. And
but
it could be Mass Effect 3 all over again.
yeah, I mean, like the mess that they're doing right now, they're going through like entire story arcs within like portions of a movie. Like
Right.
the entire like death of Superman, which is an iconic moment in comics, like probably the most iconic moment in comics.
Yeah.
Uh, and not saying it's the best moment in comics or the best story in comics, but is a very iconic moment.
Well, yeah, it's
Like
Superman. It's gotta be iconic because Superman was the first.
yeah, and they did that like within like 15 minutes, like the entire story arc.
Yeah.
Just because they're like, okay, we need this, and we need to have this iconic moment
Check it
on
off on the
this,
list.
yeah, on in live action. And just because you need it to do it in live action doesn't mean you need to do it immediately in live action.
Yeah.
Make the audience care, and the audience don't care right now because you
I
didn't make
mean,
them care.
a lot of it is also the the way that people are nowadays. They want something instant instead of waiting for it. They want to order, you know, they want Twitter. They want to go on and get instant gratification from somebody. They want this. They want that. They want to order on Amazon instead of going to Walmart or whatever to pick up a pair of shoes or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I order on Amazon all the time.
That's what I'm saying. People nowadays they go for something where they can just sit at home. I'm gonna order online. I can go to the store. They want something, you know, easy on them. They want uh, not. That's not how it should be. Anyway, can't hear you. Nope. Can't hear you, yo. Can't hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so
Hold on a second.
uh,
I paused my recording.
me too. All right.
Want to do a countdown again?
Um, sure. Whoops. Put that over here. All right, starting right now. 10,
Nine,
8,
7,
8. Oh, all right, start over. 10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2.
1.
Okay, so like when I stopped screen sharing, everything went wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently they are having Google has issues with their screen share feature,
Hmm.
which they didn't have it before. But anyways, so um yeah, I mean that's basically it. Like I want DC to be doing good stuff,
Right.
but they're just rushing through it. And like this dude even says, "Oh, this is really fast turnaround for a script." Considering the announcement was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope you know what you're doing, which I don't think you do. But yeah. All right. I think that's it, unless you have anything you want to add.
I ain't got nothing.
All right. So listener feedback, we don't have any this week, but if you'd like to write into the podcast, you can write in to the email address as podcast@outofcontinues.com. You can send us your questions, your comments, your feedback. And yeah, let's wrap things up. If you enjoy what we've been hearing, you can support us by liking us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review. You can subscribe to the Google Play Music. You can contact by email. That's podcast@outofcontinues.com. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/outofcontinues. All those things I just said, you can um, access it from the website. That's www.outofcontinues.com. You can give me a tweet. I'm at Sayedstafa. That's at SAYEDSTAFA. Where you can see my tweets going out to Phil Spencer. Oh wait, never mind. That wasn't my tweet. That was Out of Continues tweet. Either way, good friend of the show. Adam, do you have a Twitter you want to lay down?
I don't even have the app on my phone anymore.
Okay. I'd like to thank my guest host for joining me today, Adam.
Thank you for having me, sir.
And with that said, I'm your host, Stafa. Thanks for joining us.
Peace out. Peace out.
You bringing back the beast out?
Yeah.
If you are watching this on YouTube, the icon is over my face. So click that to subscribe, and then there's an icon over here for last week, and then which was the um anniversary, and then this one over here is the week before that. Bye.